Instant Pot spaghetti is a simple, hands-off meal made with a hearty, rich meat sauce and perfectly cooked noodles. Hi everyone, Kristen here. As someone who suffers from a chronic disease, I believe homemade is best, but it doesn't need to be complicated. Today I'm going to share with you a weeknight staple recipe at my house, Instant Pot spaghetti. And you may be thinking, why would you use your Instant Pot to make spaghetti when it's so easy to whip up a quick batch of spaghetti on your stovetop? Well, let me tell you, the flavor is better. The noodles are going to absorb the sauce and the meat, and it's just incredible. And I'm gonna show you how to make it so that your noodles don't clump together and that they're perfectly cooked. So let's get cooking. To start, turn your Instant Pot to saute and let it heat up until it reads hot. Once it's hot, I'm gonna add in 1 pound of lean ground beef. You could use ground turkey, you could use Italian sausage, whatever you like. And I'm also going to add in half of a minced onion and 2 cloves of minced garlic. I'm gonna saute my meat up here with the onion and the garlic until it's nice and browned, just breaking it up into small sized pieces as it cooks. And the meat is totally optional. Oftentimes I make the spaghetti without meat, which is great when I'm trying to cut back on food costs, or I don't have meat on hand and I just want a quick, simple meal. Once my meat is nice and browned, you want to hit cancel on your Instant Pot to turn off the saute function. Then we're gonna remove our inner pot and transfer this meat mixture to a bowl and set it aside for just a minute. And if needed, go ahead and drain off any grease. We're gonna pop our inner pot back inside our Instant Pot, and you know the drill. Anytime we've used our saute function, we must deglaze the pan to prevent a burn notice. To do this, we wanna pour in 1/4 cup of vegetable broth. You could use chicken broth or beef broth if that's what you have on hand. Just make sure you use low sodium broth to control the overall sodium in this recipe. And then you just want to scrape up any brown bits off the bottom of the pot. That will prevent that burn notice from happening. That looks good. And now for our noodles. You want to use 16 ounces of spaghetti noodles, regular spaghetti noodles, not thin, not thick, just regular spaghetti noodles. You want to break them in half. And the key to perfectly cooked noodles that don't stick together, you want to layer your spaghetti noodles in crisscross fashion so that they don't overlap. You want to pour in an additional 3 3/4 cup of vegetable broth, which happens to be a total of 1 carton of broth you need for this recipe. And then you just want to gently submerge your noodles into the broth. It's okay if they're not fully submerged. We're going to add spaghetti sauce, which will help the noodles not to dry out if they happen to be sticking out above the broth a little bit. On top of my noodles, I'm going to add that reserved meat mixture. And then we want to add 24 ounces of homemade or jarred spaghetti sauce. That's it. Pop your lid on the Instant Pot. Make sure your vent knob is pointed towards sealed. And then we're gonna set the cooking time by hitting manual or pressure cook and use the plus or minus buttons to adjust until it reads 5. For perfectly cooked spaghetti, you wanna cook for 5 minutes on high pressure, and then you wanna let pressure release naturally for exactly 5 minutes. This will ensure your noodles are perfectly cooked. So after the cooking time has elapsed, and the pressure has been released for exactly 5 minutes, it's time to do a quick release of the remaining pressure. To do a quick release of pressure, first you want to stand back. That way you don't get burned by the steam that's going to come out of this vent knob. And then use a long utensil of some sort and knock your sealing knob from the sealed position to the venting position. It'll take it a minute for pressure to fully be released. And then you can open up your Instant Pot. Smells amazing in here. I'm gonna give everything a good stir just to get those noodles fully incorporated with the meat sauce. And then I can't wait. I'm gonna go in for a bite right now. I just have to tell you if this turned out good or not. Probably have spaghetti sauce all over my face. But I'm telling you, these noodles are perfectly al dente. They still have a little bit of chew to them, which is exactly what you want when it comes to pasta, but yet they've absorbed so much flavor. It's so incredibly good and so easy to make. You wanna dish up your spaghetti at this point, and of course it's always delicious if you top with some additional Parmesan cheese. That's it, easy peasy family meal that everybody loves. And if you wanna know how to make this recipe using the best spaghetti sauce, be sure to check out my next video where I show you how to make Instant Pot spaghetti sauce. Until then, happy cooking.